that dude. Bet I see you from the top, yeah, real soon. Looking down on the haters that I've been through. Told them I'll see you later, yeah, big truth. I keep a real good pace. Built a big house, damn, look at that place. Up in my mind, cause that's my space. House so big, full of positive things. And I can't be shook, cause I ain't no rook, man, I wrote the book.
Ooh, that intro nasty, baby.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
What's up, fellas? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Monsters of the Gridiron Podcast. Hey, another sad Monday though, man. After a bad loss, man, we're gonna get into it and let everybody say what's up before we actually get into it. Will, how you feeling, baby?
Man, I'm somewhat dejected. I had lofty expectations coming out the chute, looking at the schedule. We've had 3 very winnable games. We're 1-2. And when you look back, probably, week 10 and we're like 7-3, or we're jockeying for position. You always think back to losses like this that realistically should have been a win, because it was really handed to us on a silver platter. So, I'm still coping, but guess what? It's Monday. It's on to the LA Rams now, guys. Talk to me, Terry.
Man, listen, I'm definitely the same way. The Sunday yesterday, I was just soaking the entire day, and then I got over it. I let the light bulb just hit me and said, "Hey, battle back against the Rams. Hey, we like Patty LaBelle. We got a new attitude. So, hey, now we're gonna have to get ready and get ready for these Rams, and we have to." Now, there's a must-win games, but this is definitely a must-win game for the Chicago Bears because everyone in our division won. What about you, Walt?
Guys, it was tough yesterday, but there's a silver lining. We saw what the Rome and Caleb connection can be, and more than likely will be going forward. So I got to take the positive with this. Can't be negative all the time.
Yeah.
What do you say, Samuel?
Hey, we have a guest, man. We have to let our guest speak. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them about your platform?
Yeah. Hey, guys. Thank you guys again and Samuel specifically for letting me be on the show. It's truly an honor. And yeah, I'm Soback Sports, or as other people would call me, Amrith. I started YouTube about less than a year ago. So I'm approaching that 1-year mark on the platform and sports commentary. So it's been a very interesting ride so far, and more interesting ride being a Bears fan, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
All right, we appreciate you for coming on, Amber. This will be the first of many times. You're always welcome to come on here and let it all out, as we like to say. Hey, man, we're down. We're not out. We've been here before as Bears fans, so let's not act like we're not used to this. We're going to talk through it right now, man. What we want to get into first? Want to just talk through the game? What do you want to do first here?
Yeah, I think Walt had us for the player of the game. We got to start on a high note.
Yeah,
let's start out high then, baby.
All right, here we
Let
go.
it ride.
Yeah, so it had to go to Odunze yesterday. I mean, they could go to anyone else. Caleb had his faults, but Rome was on point.
Yeah. Well, with the exception of, I think that second interception, like if Rome would have caught that again, like it was a lot of contact. So, that's the only thing that he didn't do. Other than that, Rome played flawless. He had a phenomenal breakout game, and the chemistry between he and Caleb. Look, guys, it's showing. Like Rome right now is Caleb's first read over DJ, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, and hopefully when Keenan come back, we have a little bit more balance. But at the end of the day, I'm watching this connection, guys, and it's been pinpoint early on. So I'm just hoping going up against these Rams. Man, the Rams got a bevy of injuries, just like the coach just said.
Yeah, they got a lot of people on IR.
So I'm just, if the line can just hold up, guys, man, we might see a 400-yard Sunday, 4 tutties. Because here's my thing. like that series right before halftime that we so badly mismanaged. Caleb has athletic ability. So if you see first and second down, very little push, why not put him in the pistol, RPO, and let's compromise that edge, and roll Swift out in the flat, and let's use Caleb's athleticism. I feel I'm so upset because, guys, we could have put up easy 30 points. We left a lot of points on the field due to poor play calling, execution, poor personnel groupings. So I'm like, even when Latu got that sack on Caleb, like you got Cole Kmet and Mercedes Lewis, who was supposed to be blocking Latu. Because, hey, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Rome was getting ready to come open on that dagger.
He was already open.
Look, Caleb was getting ready to hit him in stride for about 30, 40. So you think he threw for 363? That'll put him over 400.
Well, there was a couple things that could have put him over 400. But you know what? When you mentioned that Rome is his first target, I think they were both trying to get that first touchdown out of the way, and they did do that. But if you look at it, it's still clearly obvious to me that DJ is his go-to guy. It's his security blanket. DJ is going to catch everything. He's going to catch the stuff. So I think he's more confident, but he does like Rome, obviously, because they came in together. They have this quote-unquote relationship that they need to have. But DJ set the tone, and I was really surprised, even though that Cole Kmet missed a couple key blocks. He did catch some passes, but still, there was costly blocks that he missed that prevented us from scoring. But he did catch a couple tough passes. What do you think, Amber?
Yeah, you guys made some very key points, pretty much. And I mean, with the Cole Kmet thing, the one key issue that I had with Shane Waldron's play calling was if we go back to that strip fumble sack, like having Cole Kmet like be the main blocker. I think it was the main blocker. On that was like
he blew right past him.
Yeah, and at that point he was on the blind side of Caleb Williams, and he was right about to rip it, and it just. There's a lot of things about the offensive line that really set us back, like when it comes to like having a run game. And I think the run game was what was an identity offensively for the Chicago Bears for so long. And the fact of the matter is, without good blocking and without like good scheming, you really can't have a run game going. And especially against the Indianapolis Colts like team that is hurt on the defensive line and is like almost dead last coming into this game in terms of the defending the rush. So that just comes to me being like, how do they look so good against us when, we do have good running backs. We do have the ability to, scheme, but there's none of that. And that kind of just leads back to Chris Morgan, our offensive line coordinator for the past 3 years. And, it's just the same thing every year. And it's just infuriating because I feel like with Justin and with Caleb, it's just the same thing. Offensive line has been an issue, and Poles did address that a little bit with Karan, but that's not enough, I think. And it's just not fun.
Yeah, I mean, we can go into a little bit of what's up.
No, I was going to say we saw some good, like we said. Rome and Caleb have a connection. And which is good because him and DJ are automatically going to have a connection because DJ is a pro, like Terry said. DJ is the guy who can rely on, and I think he just feels comfortable with Rome being that big body guy. He can toss the ball up to, and Rome is getting past guys deep as well. I'm with Will on the one bad play from Rome. I feel like he could have knocked that ball down. You got to prevent that interception. You got to bail your quarterback out sometimes. So that's a learning experience for the both of them. So that was the good thing that came out of it. But Rome had a breakout game. I feel like Caleb showed a lot of promise, man. I'm with Amrith as well, man. Where was the run game, man? I was coming into this game expecting us to have at least 200 yards rushing. But as we've seen the 2 weeks before, teams are run blitzing us like hell, which is, in our offensive line just doesn't have an answer for it. They can't. We don't have a good running scheme right now. That's just what it is, man. Our running scheme is crazy right now. We're still trying to run to the outside, trying to run into that blitz, and that blitz is knocking us down and stopping the run game. I did see some promise though from Roschon Johnson. They got the formula.
That's what I was about to say.
That's the dude. That dude is running through the wall. You know what I mean? So that's what we need to do. We need to pound teams, man. That means that, we got to run more power and stop trying to get fancy and get outside. Let's just run straight at teams now until they come out of that, and then, we make them pay that way. But I'm with Emirath. I agree with everything everyone said here so far, man.
I mean, one more. Sorry, but like one more thing about the run game specifically, and I just think, for having Khalil Herbert and Roschon Johnson as your two, head down, run it through the wall, pretty much like running backs, I think those two are like the way to go. The Swift, I don't think is necessarily like that kind of a running back, whereas he's more of a receiving threat. We saw that in Detroit. We saw that on the Eagles as well. Like he thrives on, being able to have an option, whether to run the ball when there's good offensive line scheming, and being a receiving threat or an option for the quarterback to get to and get more yards. And I just think that Waldron's idea, I just don't understand where he's going with the idea of we have Herbert, we have Roschon. Is there something we're not seeing as fans, that you're not utilizing them to the fullest extent? That just what infuriated a lot of us.
Yeah. What you think, Walt? I know you was talking after this.
Yeah, I just wanted to hit on the Cole Kmet block since we were on the subject at the time. I do have it loaded up here, so if you want to take a look, and whoever hasn't seen it yet can see it now.
Wow, let me close my eyes.
First down and 10. Play action. Williams was looking deep, lost the football, knocked away by Latu, and there's a fight for it.
On this game,
he was getting ready to load up.
The most important thing for those D linemen, when you get to the quarterback, attack the football. Don't worry about getting
he had a receiver open on this play. That's just going to be a completed pass easily.
In a crucial moment.
That hurts. That hurts. That hurts to watch.
Hey, that
what hurts is that what hurts is that the coaches put him in that position, though. You don't ask Cole Kmet to block a defensive end. I don't care if he is a rookie, man. This is the best rookie defensive end coming out of the draft. We know the dude has chops, man. So let's not put Cole Kmet in that position, man. He's not an offensive lineman. He's a tight end.
Yeah, that hurt, and it's it's definitely unfortunate. And I really hope that we learn from this. Now, even though we should beat the Rams have a tough defensive. They have two guys, and both of them are Florida State guys. You know what I mean? Yes, and
they have three.
And so they have a motor. And I looked at one interesting statistic is that Braden Fisk has 2 fumble recoveries in the last 2 games. Mm-hmm. He's been Johnny on the spot as it relates to putting his nose around the ball. So we have to not give them options to have them being close to Caleb like that. There's something that has to be done. Like we talked about the offensive line, coach. It falls back on you. I mean, if because we have all the talent in the world. Samuel, you mentioned about running Roschon. Is it just me, or didn't the offense look a little bit more smoother when Roschon was running, getting you them 7-8 yards of carry? Yes. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think the Bears feel obligated to go with Swift because they paid him the money and he's a free agent. But hey, enough is enough. There's been a lot of people look, Bayless Jones was a healthy scratch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that we gotta, put our Swift as a healthy scratch, but we have 3 talented running backs. Something's got to give. Yeah, something has to give.
Yeah. And to what you were saying there about Cole Kmet, I just want to finish up with that, and then we'll move on. Samo, that's part of his job, right? As a tight end, you're a receiver, and you have to be able to block these guys. And it's not like he's a small dude. He's 6'6". He's like 260. So he's got the same frame as Latu. But even when you watch in the play, he ends up losing his leverage almost immediately. Now, whether it's that because of the push from Mercedes Lewis people are talking about, but still at the end of the day, you can't give up that kind of advantage right off the rip. You lost the rep as soon as it began. You can't have that, unfortunately. You want the big money. We paid you the bag, and now you're just, doing nothing.
Don't make us have buyer's remorse.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, great. He's a great receiver. He had 11 catches yesterday for 95 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
So he's great there. I can't fault him in that, but you need to do a complete job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got the initial punch, man, and then Latu reacted like a defensive end is supposed to. And Cole is not being an offensive lineman, didn't know how to recover or reset his arms. He lost his balance a little bit. His head was down. It was just bad technique. So I kind of blame coaching on that, man. If you're gonna ask him to do that, you got to teach him how to do it, or this is what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? So but you're right, Walt. Yeah, they put him in that position. You play tight end position. You're gonna have to do that every now and then. I would have liked for him to just chop the dude's legs out. Just take him out, just take him down, or get in his way. You don't even have to block him. If you could just mirror him and stay in front of him and prevent him that way, do that. But that was just bad technique all around. So, but other than that, Cole had a great game too. Like you said, Cole had a great game too. Other than that play,
Yeah. So before we get into the coaching staff, I want that to be like the major part of the show here today. Let's talk about Caleb Williams. So week 3, we're looking for growth, and we saw it this week. They tasked him throwing the ball 52 times. Completed 33 for 63.46%. Not bad at all. 363 yards. That's what the most as a Bears rookie. I think it's more than Justin Fields. Yeah. And 11th all time for the Chicago Bears in your third game. I can't really fault you for that. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, whatever. You brought your sacks down by 3, and you only had to rush for 8 yards. Not a bad day at the office. What do you think, SoBack Sports? Talk to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of silver linings to this game, and this is definitely one of them. I thought that I saw a lot of great things. I think Caleb was a lot more calm in the pocket, more calmer than what he was the first game and the second game, which was beautiful because he was getting the ball out very quickly. And he obviously had to throw for a lot, which means that, the short yardage situations, and even if you look at his passing chart on next gen stats, you would see that he threw all over the field. There was short throws, midfield throws, and then even deep balls. And it was just a lot of green and, a few little bit of gray. And that's what you like to see, because you don't like the middle of the field being really empty for a rookie quarterback. He's able to go through his progressions, and he was able to see the field really well. Even if you go back to that sack from Latu, that his vision was in front of him. He wasn't looking anywhere else. He wasn't getting jittery in the pocket. He wasn't trying to escape immediately, which, you could make an argument that it could help. But he was just making that play. But it was just a couple seconds late, and then it would happen to be a sack. And, the deep ball was also a pretty big issue when it comes to accuracy, because accuracy-wise, it's been kind of a thing for the past 3 games. But you do see some improvement, At the end of the day, he's doubling his yards every single game so far. And at this rate, he could be at 700 yards next game, if you think about it. So that'd be amazing. But, realistically speaking, he's going to face a lot more tougher defenses. And, the more experience he gets, it's his 3rd game in the NFL. The fact that he's already doing this, gives me a little bit hope right now of yes, this could be our guy. It's just a matter of the things around him that's kind of pulling back and not letting us enjoy the greatness that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, you brought some good points there. One of the things I do want to see him, not saying he has to be Justin Fields, but when there's an opportunity for you to run, you have to run those. I mean, you see Pat Mahomes did it yesterday. So I know he's looking downfield to throw the ball, which is great. But if you have an opportunity if it's 3rd and 4, and you're trying to throw 15 yards, but you can run for it on the first down, we're getting 4 yards, you're going to have to do that. But I do like the idea that he is doing that. 52 passes is a lot. I'm pass attempts. So when it start getting cold in Chicago, you don't want to pass it that many times. In that windy city, you definitely want to run the ball a little bit more, which is the reason why I think we should really start honing in on our run, because we're gonna lean heavily on the run in November and December time frame. Now we could definitely pass the ball, but as you know, Chicago's known for running it, but we can pass the ball as well. But 52 times is a lot. What do you think, Samuel?
Yeah, I think that the offensive line gave him some time, and he showed what he could do with a little bit of time in the pocket, man. And like Emmerich said, he learned to navigate the pocket a little bit better in this game. He was a lot more accurate this game because he wasn't as antsy and as jittery. He was setting his feet and getting the ball out on time, man. He looked good. You know what I'm saying? We know that Caleb isn't the issue with this team. That just goes to show it that, man, we have an offensive line issue. And if we get that situation set, then we see what is going to happen on the end of that. Caleb's going to find guys open. We have great wide receivers that are going to get open. He's throwing it to all over the field to everyone, too. That's the other thing I love about him. And I agree with you, Terry, man. Like, when that defense turns its back to you, man, run. Go get those yards.
Yeah.
Those yards we need. You have to be that threat. And that also, makes them account for you, which will give you a little bit more space behind those guys. Make one of those linebackers stay and watch you, or a defensive lineman spy you or something, man. Get one of those defenders to, spy on you a little bit, and it'll open something else up down the field sometimes. But if they know you're not going to be a threat to run, then they're just not going to account for you. And this is what we're going to get. Like, you have to go and run sometimes, especially if you get out of the pocket and you have this open lane, all this space. Go take it, Caleb. Go take it, man. Yeah, you a quarterback. We know you a quarterback. We know you can sling it, but go get those yards, man, and get on the ground. That's what that slip and slide taught you, man.
Yeah.
That's what he went through for.
I agree.
Yeah, and Terry, I think you were talking about the first drive before they kicked the field goal?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. I said the same thing. It's like sometimes you just have to get the easy yards, because you would have hit that field goal even if you gotten 2 or 3 yards. You didn't miss by that much. But it's also a good thing too, because that's easier to coach into somebody than looking downfield to throw the ball later on. You could teach someone to run.
Right.
Right.
Well, they taught him to slide, so I mean that's a good thing. Yeah.
Exactly, like you said.
Sorry. Another thing I wanted to bring up, that I really, really liked what Caleb did. And the thing is, that's one thing that, like, last year, Justin Fields and, like, the media has been kind of clamoring him about is the anticipatory throws.
Yes.
I saw a lot of that, especially on third down with Cole Kmet, like in crunch time during that second drive.
I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he, like, before Cole Kmet turned back, he immediately sees the ball in the air and he caught that on the dime. It was like on the line. And that's what I really liked, because he did make those plays like here and there. It's just that it wasn't noticeable due to the fact that, it was like a 3-and-out short game, like short option,
34.
Yep.
And he got 5 yards after that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing that, like last year, Justin Fields had issues with, being anticipation, seeing the field or predicting where your receivers are going to be before, they turn around or finish their route, because that's what keeps their defenses on their toes. And I think that's going to be what changes the Bears offense going forward. If we get everything else right, like the offense could be so good, and we have to just clean up the stuff that really matters.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yep. Great points.
Yeah. So why don't we get to the main topic here, and that's the coaching staff, because I don't know, it's not even the entire coaching staff. It's, I can't really put a lot of blame on Shane Waldron. He's still installing his system, right? But there was something here, and Mikey brought it up in chat. Let me find it. He asked, I also think Flus is handcuffing Waldron's play calling. And I had a conversation today with my wife. We talked about this. And we're in 100% agree with you, Mikey, on this one. And there's things to back it up, too. I know there's an old quote. I don't remember when Flus said it, but he was talking about, I want to be more involved in the offense. And if you watch the presser last night after the game, they were going on about the 4th and 1 call. And he said at least 3 times that we liked the play. He didn't say he liked the play. He said we. So what that's telling me is you have some sort of hand in what's being called. And then again today, when they did the Zoom calls, I don't know if any of you guys had a chance to watch those. It was Flus Komet and Kevin Byard, I think. He made somebody asked him again about the 4th and 1 call, and he says, "Well, I shouldn't have to make this call, or I shouldn't have to make something like that." But he used the word "I." So is Shane Walter really calling plays, or is Matt Eberflus trying to get his stamp on there, and it's kind of throwing things off in this weird direction?
Matt Eberflus need to concentrate on why the hell we didn't. Why did we have to use a burner timeout when we was going for a 2 points? You should know math. It's simple math. If you score that touchdown, you got to go for a 2 point. Don't need to call timeout. Don't press go. Don't collect $200. Go out there and go for the 2 point conversion. And if you don't get it right, you still have that extra timeout that we could have used to get back in the game. I just think, man, it was just. I think he wants to be the head coach, but you can't be the head coach, offense coordinator, defense coordinator, because you miss out on things like that. You should have automatically knew go for 2 points, because you obviously your rookie quarterback is in there, and you do want him to know that. But if that was Pat Mahomes, he wouldn't even have looked over there. He would say, "Hey, we're going for 2."
He'd have just threw it up. He'd have just threw it up.
It went like this. His normal platform.
That's Pat right there. Come on. Yeah, we going for 2, puts you down 3, man. It's not rocket science, man. Just do what makes sense. Like you shouldn't. That's not even a question. It's in the 4th quarter. We're in the 4th quarter. Like, come on, man. Time is of the essence at this point in time. Like you say, man. I've said it after the game. The coaching staff is failing his team, man. And that's just one of the many blunders that he had, man. That call on 4th down was ridiculous, man.
You talking about the option
print out? Yeah, the speed out.
Look, that option's been outdated since Nebraska ran it. Why are you going to try to run an option right now? You got Roschon Johnson. Run him up the middle.
Thank you. Run it up the middle with Roschon. Roschon has shown you that he can get the tough yard. We were a foot away from the end zone. Put Roschon behind you and go straight forward, man. All of this getting cute and trying to get fancy, man. It wasn't blocked up right. They ran to the weak side of the deep offense where they had two tight ends on the right side. We had a guard and a tackle on the left side. That's the side we chose to option to for whatever reason. And the defense had us out leveraged because they had 4 guys over there. So they automatically knew what was coming. At that point in time, as a head coach, you see what's about to happen. You decide to watch the play fail as opposed to calling a timeout, knowing that there was no chance this play was going to have success. The players knew it. Caleb knew it, but he said he couldn't get into another call because he didn't have the time. That's when the head coach has to step in and help your rookie quarterback and say, you know what? Timeout. We're going to reset. We're going to regroup. You know what? I'm going to calm everyone down, give everyone a break. It's going to get into a really good play. We're just going to get downhill. Hopefully, that would have been a decision at that point in time. But I blame the head coach for that, man. I can't blame anyone else other than the head coach. I agree with Walt, too. It seems like this offense looks too much like last year's offense. It's eerily similar. And the only constant right now is not Matt Nagy, but Matt Eberflus. And Eberflus is we see him talking to Caleb in these little meetings all the time, like he wants to be involved on the offensive side of the ball. So whatever his influence is, man, it should stop. It should cease immediately. Allow Shane Waldron to be the offensive coordinator. You cover the defense. Let that man call what he wants to call when he wants to call it. He's the expert. You can be in an advisory role to him, yes, as a defensive coordinator that defense. We know that. But you're not an offensive coordinator, man. You don't understand rhythm and all of this, man. Allow that man to coach this young quarterback and this young offense up, man, to get them up and running. Because I'm with Walt. Something stinks. Where there's smoke, there's usually fire.
Yeah, and I really hope that they get it together. This will be an opportune team to get your rhythm back because man, the Rams are depleted.
They're depleted.
I mean, I'm not. Look, I know everybody's professionals on that team, but they have quite a few people that's going to be out, and then their star wide receiver is not playing. There's a lot of different things that factor into helping the Bears out, and we're at home, and they're flying all the way from California. The Bears should win this game hands down.
Yeah, I mean,
noon game at that.
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean, I was gonna kind of add on to that. Like the Eberflus, I feel like I think the fact that we still have a defensive-minded head coach could also be kind of why he's kind of like not allowing Shane Waldron to go all out on the playbook because. Especially today when, he had the presser talked about that one interception or that second interception to Odunze, and how it was an aggressive throw. And that just clearly to me sounds like what a defensive minded head coach would sound like. Like if you're a defensive minded head coach, you want to mitigate or limit turnovers as much as possible. They absolutely hate turnovers. And that just, they want the safe route. They want to make sure that no turnovers are made. And that's just not how offensive roll. You have to take those chances. And it just goes to show that maybe you're right, that he could be kind of limiting what Shane Waldron is trying to do. And I would also kind of add to the fact that maybe Shane Waldron also, is trying to make the game a little bit easier for Caleb to kind of go. It kind of doesn't make sense, but that just doesn't make sense for why he's calling certain plays, like a lot of run plays when it up the middle with Swift, which makes no sense. And it just doesn't, like, a lot of the stuff just doesn't add up. And, it also comes to the point where, was keeping Eberflus the right decision? Yes, he had a great time with the defense. He made it a top 5 unit within a span of a season, and he started off really well too. But it's just the small things like this that kind of just bring us back, like it just like, why is this happening in the first place? Yeah, it just sucks.
What you think, Walt?
No, I'm looking at Jigsaw's comment here. He seems like Flus is a control freak. I don't know him calling offense or defensive plays, just manage the game. I agree 100%. Yes. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's trying to be cool now with his new haircut and all that. But I mean, enough's enough, man. You've had, this is what, year 3, year 4 now for him.
Yeah, this is a prove it year.
Yeah, and like you were talking about there, man, should we have gotten rid of Flus and gone with a complete reset? At this point, it's leaning more maybe we should have.
Yeah,
because you haven't shown anything to prove otherwise right now. You had one game where your defense showed up and won you the game. Yeah. You've had 3 bad offensive performances in a row, which obviously you have some sort of hand in now that we know. So what it is, like, you don't have an excuse anymore. We gave you the new quarterback. We brought you in these defensive players. There's just your time management is still sucks. I mean, at this point, you should know you're not a rookie head coach anymore. You don't have a bad team anymore that you can say, "Oh well, we tore the roster down." There's no more excuses.
Yeah, I agree, and he's going to be on the outside looking in because a lot of people are already pleading for Lincoln Riley. So he's going to be on the outside looking in if he don't get this under control because Lincoln Riley would be chomping at the bit to coach Caleb again. At least he don't have to learn the playbook.
That's true.
Even maybe like Ben Johnson, because after this season, like he could be, getting coaching gigs. Especially last season, he was about to. Like he was like interviewing. I'm pretty sure. Like, hey, if Flus doesn't work out, hey, I'm all for Ben Johnson.
I still think if the Bears have a fairly recent record, I still think he might get fired.
Yeah, I mean
he could because he's not a head coach, man. He's a defensive coordinator playing head coach, man. He doesn't take accountability. for anything. You know, he doesn't hold his coaches accountable. He doesn't hold players accountable. His coaching decisions are bad, and his in-game management is all bad, man. That's you need all that as a head coach. You know, he's doing a good job, pretty good job as a defensive coordinator, but he's failing horribly as a head coach in 3 games, and it's noticeable. It's noticeable to the point where the announcers are saying stuff in each game, each of the past 3 games, man.
Yeah.
You had 3 games this year, and you're making the same mistakes. You're not a rookie anymore. You're in your 3rd year. You're not a rookie head coach anymore. Like some of this stuff, you should have figured out by now. You know, we gave you chance after chance to go, but at this point, man, I'm with Amber. I was ready to let him go last year. I really thought they should have went after Bobby Slowick because after seeing what he did with C.J. Stroud as a rookie, you know, you go get a guy who you know can develop a rookie quarterback. I thought that was the obvious choice to me if you knew you were going to beat Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Honestly, we're like he has 3 weeks to prove himself. Like
that's what I was about to say.
I mean, but at this point, we can't hide behind the old mantra of the Bears don't fire coaches midseason, because now there's nothing you can do to say like he's earning his job like he did last year. He pulled the defense out of the gutter and he did a great job. I'll give him that. He earned this year, but the issues that he's had his entire head coaching career are still there. So why are we going to subject ourselves and subject our new quarterback to this? And I think it was Mikey who said, here it is, I'd be okay if they kicked Flus out and made Waldron interim head coach. I'd be all for that because there isn't a lot of problem with some of the problem mainly lists in a few people on the coaching staff. Shane Waldron, I can't say if it is or it isn't his issue right now. More so, is it a head coach who's trying to get a little too big for his britches and dip his hand into the cookie jar a little too much?
Right? Yeah, Walt, I tell you what, if the Bears don't win this game, they're going to be calling for this week. They're going to be calling for Flus's job like ASAP. Yeah. I can guarantee you that because the Rams have their offense is not really. It doesn't scare you. You know what I mean? I know they got what's the quarterback?
Matthew Stafford.
Matt Stafford, but he's a statue back there. So we should be feasting on Matt Stafford, you know. But if the Bears don't win this game, man, it's whew. Chicago is going to be up in an uproar.
Cooper and the other guy is out.
Yeah.
Both is out.
Both their top 2 wide receivers are out as of right now. I don't know if Cooper Kupp's on the IR. I know.
He's not on the IR, but he's not playing though.
Okay.
They've already ruled him out.
And here's the other thing too, guys. We have to look at what the hell happened to the offensive line in the run game. They're coming into their own last year, and we've always had a decent run game. You put Chris Morgan in charge of both, and now we're terrible. We can't run the ball. We can't block. So it's him and Flus. Those 2 guys are just I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Well, what happened to Darnell Wright being the monster that he was coming out of college and as a rookie? What happened to Tevin Jenkins being the monster that he was the past couple years on the block? What happened to the development of Braxton Jones? Man, all 3 of those players have regressed, man. That's a fact. That's not even an opinion. You can't look at those players and say that they're playing their best football at this moment in time. We've seen a lot better football played by all 3 of these guys in the previous years. You know, this year for some reason the entire offensive line just stinks. They don't push anyone off the ball at all. We just get knocked back every time. And the blocking schemes just look ridiculous, man. Even on that goal line play, the center they were in the bare front. Bare front is a defensive lineman in front of the center and both guards. The center takes off and goes for the linebacker. So immediately the defensive tackle that was over him got into the backfield, and then the floodgate just opened after that, and then he gets tripped up going there. So I'm like, the blocking scheme just doesn't make sense. Like, how was that play ever going to work? Like, who drew this up? Man? It was just, man, like, I stole that play down. I'm just like, this is ridiculous, man. So yeah, something has to change. You know, I don't think they'll fire flukes during the middle of the year, but something has to change, man. Like Ryan Poles has to go to flukes, or flukes has to go to this offensive line coach, but something has to change, man. We got to, in order for things to get better on this offensive line and for this offense to get to rolling.
I mean, yeah, like in terms of things to change, I think there's still a chance. Like, if say the offensive line continues to underperform and stuff, and keep in mind, Tevin Jenkins is under a contract year technically, and if he continues to play like this, then it's going to be hard, or like it's not going to be easy to pay him that money that he like allegedly deserves, you know? So the thing is, if say the play doesn't like end up being there, like I think Ryan Poles has to to kind of save face for the season and Caleb's like development, like before the trade deadline. I think someone mentioned in the comments down there, like go for some offensive line help in the trade by the trade deadline, because I think I don't know, just to kind of like put some tape on this like offensive line and get some kind of help, because the latter part of the season is going to be brutal, especially with the bunch of division games that we have, and it's just not going to get easier for Caleb. And if the offensive line is what it is in its current iteration, like then the season's just going to be absolutely brutal for Caleb, and I think it's going to do more harm than good.
Yeah, and I can see the Bears trading Valus or Khalil Herbert. I can definitely see them trading one of them to get more offensive line help. It's just the writing's kind of on the wall. These guys are not getting ran as much. Look, Valus was a healthy scratch for 2 weeks in a row. Somebody's probably willing to take a chance on them, or you do something, but. Something's got to be corrected sooner than later, because these divisional games, every team in our division has gotten better, and every team in our division is scoring points in bunches. I know our defense is good. We only gave 14 points last week, and we didn't really give that many points up to Houston. But look what happened when they played Minnesota.
Yep. Minnesota. I told you last week about Minnesota. It scares me. Minnesota looks extremely scary right now on defense and on offense right now. They're clicking. And you know what the difference is? Coaching. Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell
That's the key word.
Great coach. He is a great coach, man. He's proven it.
I feel like a kid in a candy store every time I watch Pat Mahomes play, right? And I know it's the different levels, but it's like, if you need 4 yards, he's going to get you 4 yards. It's a slant or something. But we're trying to get 20 yards, and we only need 4. Like, I'm like, look, set this kid up like Pat Mahomes did. Yeah. Set him up.
Yeah, and like you're saying, Terry, even watching the game last night, and I don't like Chris Collinsworth, but he made a great point saying, Patrick Mahomes knows he's not going to get hit. And when you know that, you can just do your job.
Yep.
Set the kid up like that. They should take the playbook. And some of their plays just look so smooth, man. I'd be like, oh, man, only if the Bears can look like this. You know what I mean? I know it takes time. I know it takes cohesiveness. I know it takes all of this stuff, right? But come on, man. Hey, you should be looking in the Chiefs playbook and taking some of their plays. Don't reinvent the wheel.
We said that it takes time, but look at what Green Bay has done with Malik Willis. They got him to start the season, man. He started the second game, he started the third game, and he's efficient, man. It's coaching, man. It's just that damn simple. It's coaching on the offensive lineman, coaching the offensive line to be efficient and effective, and play callers who are efficient and effective, and head coaching who are fucking competent, man. It's just that's the difference right now in other teams and what we have, and that's what can beat us next week against the Rams, because Sean McVay is a competent coach. Man, he knows Shane Waldron well. So we'll see what happens there. You talked about their defensive linemen. They have, I think, 3 good defensive linemen, and Braden Fisk, J.L. First, and last year's rookie Kobe Turner had 9 sacks. So, man, they're licking their chops looking at these offensive lines tape right now. They're looking at that right now, sitting back like, oh, yeah.
This is what we
like, oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we about to eat, bro. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. We're going to Chicago.
There has to be a lot of quick passes out next game. because you have to. You have to do quick passes. I understand that you want to go for the big play, and that may happen because you can set that up. But, man, we're going to have to really lean on the quick passes. But not only that, we got to lean on this running game. We have 3 good running backs. 3. Use them.
Yep. And this another thing to think about is, man, that they play that odd front. We saw what happens against that. What happened to Colton Shelton? Shelton against that odd front, man. When you play that 3-4 defense. So, man, this week is kind of scary to me.
Yeah, it's a must-win game for the Bears. You're at home.
Literally, like, going back to the quick pass plays, like we saw that like in the Texans game a little bit, but the one thing about this offense that I still to this day, even last year, don't understand is when a play works, right? The play like works to perfection, and it's like the most easiest like quick slant play ever.
Yes.
And they're like, "Oh wow, this works. Let's not go back to it ever again the entire game." So that was literally in the Houston game. If they had just done that a couple of times and catch the defense off guard if they're playing high, like, make a life easier for Caleb. If you want to get the ball out quickly, like how people were saying last year, even for Justin, get the ball out. What can you do? Quick plays, easy passes, or hitch routes, or do something to kind of get those short yardage situations. You said, you don't need the 20-yard play for a 4-yard gain. Like, make it simple. Like, I feel like the Bears offense,
KISS method.
Yeah, like just like the whole thing about Eberflus is literally the hits method. Like, I don't understand. Like, it just still like irks me every time I watch like this offense go. Like, I know what this could be. Like, why do we have to call it like that? Like a screen or a check down. Why does it have to be that difficult? And if you're calling a check down or a screen, have the proper personnel to block for the screen. Like, it's not that difficult. If teams or offensive minded head coaches like
Sean McVay.
Yeah, Sean McVay can think of that. And you're coming from the Sean McVay tree, Shane Waldron. Like, where is this? Like, I mean, that definitely goes to our points that Shane Waldron is being a little handcuffed by Eberflus. And, there is stuff that adds up at this point, and it just make it easy. It's not that like difficult. And you won't even have the offensive line troubles which is important. Offensive line is very important. I'm not trying to lower or diminish that by any means, but I'm just saying we can mitigate that and kind of help Caleb, not take hits or take sacks by those quick passes. And
I agree. Thank God for our defense, man, because our defense has been saving our heinies on a lot of things. But I know we want to lean on our defense, but man, Walt, talk to me. Do we need to lean on them that much? Can the offense give them some type of pressure, some type of easement?
No, you got to give them something, because we saw yesterday Jonathan Taylor just ran all over those guys. They were tired.
Yeah,
and our offense is going quick 3 and out, run play 2 yards, throw the ball downfield. It fails. We punt the ball away. And we talked about Eberflus, we talked about Morgan. Maybe we got to talk about Ryan Poles. He put this whole team together, right? And you have to start at least having the discussion. Like, maybe the plan, like you said, maybe the plan's failing, and can you pivot to something else and change quick enough to where the whole thing doesn't fall apart? And that's that.
I bet.
I guess the answer.
The Bears front office right now is just searching this waiver wire, seeing who they can find on the offensive line. They're like tooth and nail trying to find out a good trade or something. They have to. They don't have a choice.
Yeah. Otherwise,
I would like to see what Karan has to offer, though. I mean, I don't know where they will put him at, as far as position, but I didn't see him play in the game, so we'll see if he can add some type of substance to this line.
I think we could probably see him.
He did say that Caleb Williams won't get touched, didn't he? You remember that?
Oh, he definitely did.
I hope he can do that. But I think that, I think the only way, I think is I've been a huge advocate for what Ryan Poles has done. He has definitely changed this team. Like, give him props where props is due.
Oh, yeah.
But he has a lot of shortcomings and he has made a lot of mistakes. And listen, GMs, they make mistakes, they do stuff, and that comes with the game. You don't know necessarily. Nothing. This league, nothing is for sure. You're not going to get what you're like traded for. Things happen, but there has to be a point now where, okay, you got the weapons, you got this, you got that, but there's something like the coaches or the offensive line has not been addressed as much as it should have been. Because if you were to address the offensive line and retained Eberflus and gotten Shea Waldron, like maybe we wouldn't be having this conversation whatsoever about Matt Eberflus being on the hot seat or that, because the offensive line protects Caleb and everything's good. But the fact of the matter is you didn't address that. You brought in, you retained Eberflus. You brought in Shane Waldron, who is also not performing well, and the offensive line is gone. Like, you can't really make this up, and especially like in year, is this third year of him being a GM?
Yeah. No, you saw Ryan Poles. Yeah.
And the thing is, he comes from like a front office, like from the Chiefs. So he knows first and foremost, he was the one that helped orchestrate that trade to get Patrick Mahomes back in 2017. Like, he knows what he's doing, or like he has some idea. But now, because the Bears have a lingering history of being offensively like deficient, challenged. So he has a lot to work with, and I get that it doesn't always work out, and it seems like he's always making mistakes, but that just comes with the territory of being a GM, and you just have to. Now, the only thing you can really do is get on the waiver wire, get on the phone, and make those calls for an offensive line.
Yeah, because a lot of people were saying that, because I think we drafted Torrey, the punter, in the 4th round.
Yeah,
a lot of people said that could have been an offensive lineman. Because our punter didn't have a good game yesterday either. He was, I say, mere average. He could have kicked it a lot better than what he did.
Yeah, he had a very average game.
Yeah, but a lot of folks think, look, that 4th round draft pick could have went to an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I understand that too, but a lot of people keep saying that fourth round linemen really don't make it, and that this and that too. But man, they do when they're coached. They do when they're well coached. I think that Ryan Poles just like that. Yeah, I think that's this issue, man, is that he didn't account for coaching when he drafts these players. Like, he's banking on his coaches to coach these guys up that he is drafting and he is picking from other teams, because he went and got Nate Davis. Nate Davis just sucks. I mean, he relied on his coaches. He relied on his scouts who told him that Nate Davis was a guy that could help this team. Nate can't help us. That hurt us. That's what's hurting us, stuff like that. Nate Davis not being the guy that we thought he was going to be. The lack of development from our 2 offensive tackles right now, and the lack of development from in regression in Tamron Jenkins right now. And center, if anything, position I fought him for a center, because he went out and he got Ryan Bates and he got Coleman Shelton, but any of those guys are dominant centers, man. You should have got a really good dominant center to grow with your quarterback, man. If you're going to bring in a new quarterback, I'm going to go get a nice veteran center. You had the chance to go get Lloyd Cushenberry. You should have spent that money. We didn't need a Keenan Allen if we were going to get another wide receiver in the draft. We went for the luxury picks as opposed to getting the necessities. I feel like, and I think that's my issue. Yeah, what looks good on paper, and we didn't have the coaching staff to make it all work. Because it could have worked, because we've seen this plan work out with the Bengals, but we don't have the coaching staff. The Bengals had a good coaching staff. They were able to coach their second-year quarterback in Joe Burrow to a Super Bowl, with wide receivers as opposed to offensive linemen. They end up getting hurt in the long run, but they got there,
Yeah.
So,
and our defense is good enough to get us there. Man. But if our offense click on all cylinders, then we're good. Yeah. We're cooking with grease.
Yeah, because Samuel, you brought it up too after, and just very quickly, the Torrey Taylor pick. The next two offensive linemen, I don't think were drafted until round 5, and that was Cedric Van Pran Granger and Hunter Norzad.
Yep.
So, and I wanted Cedric Van Pran, honestly.
We all wanted him. We all wanted Cedric Van Pran. Yep. We all thought that.
Yeah, look, all I can say at this point is like until that line get fixed, I'm tailoring all expectations because when I saw that one clip where it was 4 linemen just laying on the ground like they were doing La Bamba,
Yeah.
like to me that's unacceptable. I don't care what the play call was. That looked like little giants to me when they had the Arkansas just running out their mouth. You know what I'm saying? But they instead of being in the trenches, blocking, they was laid out on the ground like it was Saturday Night Live. So I'm sitting here like, come on, man, like
we wanted continuity, didn't we? Was that not continuity?
But hey,
that was like synchronized swimming.
Hey,
Hey,
what did Pat Designer say though? Stop getting linemen that block like you.
Pat went hard, man. Pat was pissed.
I can't believe he said that. Yeah, but I'm like, we got Ian Cunningham and Ryan Poe that were 2 former offensive linemen. And I'm sitting here like, how is that position so poorly evaluated? Like you can't get here and sit me to book. To me, as we all know, when you look at all the past Super Bowl champions, it's determined by the trenches. When Tom Brady was winning them Super Bowls, I remember he had wide receivers, Troy Brown, like a bunch of no-name guys. But guess what? The line was solid on both sides, defense and offense. So when we won the Super Bowl in '85, our line was solid on both sides. When we went in 2006, both sides, the trenches were solid. So I'm sitting here like, that's the blueprint, guys, moving forward. Like at this point, that's where the focus needs to lie moving forward. Like, because we're just churning our wheels right now. If we don't get this offensive line fixed, the player personnel groupings determined properly, we need to get Roshan more touches, Khalil Herbert more touches, and Shane Waldron, guess what? You got to play to the strength of your players because the key in unison is develop Caleb, but you got a championship defense right now that's ready. We can't blow that, guys. We got to take advantage of this opportunity with Caleb on a rookie deal. Like these next 3-4 years, if we're not making the playoffs and making a deep run, hey guys, as far as I'm concerned, it's a problem. Like point blank, period.
I think it's also going back to the point. I think one person just made the point down below. I think it's more of a coaching factor because let's go back to, when we had Lucas Patrick. Remember him? And the week before, there was a PFF ranking where he had the record for the highest rated offensive lineman. And the thing is, we had him the year before. So, and I think there was another offensive lineman as well. I can't remember the name, but him too. He was doing amazing things for the team that he was on. So clearly that if these players that we deemed really bad when we had them on our team, do amazing on other teams, I feel like that's inherently a coaching issue. And it seems like the regression is not only on the players specifically, and I'm talking about Tevin Jenkins, Darnell Wright, because we saw amazing signs last year. Braxton Jones had a great year. Tevin Jenkins had a great year. Darnell Wright was one of the best rookies that played last year, in terms of being an offensive lineman. So there's so many good things about this offensive line. I think that's what Ryan Poles assumed that would be the case this year. But the thing is, the offensive line wasn't reaching its full potential even last year with their trajectory and growth. And this year they fell back because they tried doing the same stuff as last year and maybe even less than that because they're trying to, be overly smart. And it just falls apart. And then you start blaming maybe the offensive line. Maybe it's Tevin Jenkins. Maybe Darnell Wright is no longer good. Maybe that's the case. But I feel like if players like Lucas Patrick, who are older and were bad and now good, are helping their current teams, like I think that it's inherently a coaching problem. But honestly, I have no idea.
And I think you're right. We all think you're right. I think we all agree that the offensive line coaching is a problem. He hasn't developed one player in 3 years. All we're seeing, we just pointed out areas of regression from each player. As you just pointed out, players are leaving here and going and playing in other places and playing a lot better. Not play, and becoming the highest ranked guards and centers on other teams right now. And they sucked for us. They absolutely sucked for us. I think it was Lucas Patrick and Sam Mustipher, I think, was the other player. But
yeah,
man, so it's
And Mustipher's
it's
playing. I thought he
obvious.
was on the Chargers practice squad.
Yeah, but then he played he got called up, I'm pretty sure, and then I forgot what team though. Like he played either last year or this year. But I know for a fact Lucas Patrick did. On the Saints.
I know Lucas Patrick was the one you were talking about. Maybe they were talking about James Daniels.
James Daniels, they did talk about him too out in Pittsburgh, but James has been gone for a while.
Yeah, there's another lineman because it just skips me now, but it wasn't another lineman. I was like, man, I thought he played for the Bears, but and he actually is a starter. I forgot who it was. It's gonna come back to me.
Yeah, but there was one thing I just want to pose to you guys that I found really interesting when I originally saw this. Before the draft of Darnell Wright, I picked up a copy of I think it was Lindsay Sports Magazine, and they did like a whole issue on the draft and different positions and all that. And under the guard position, they actually listed Darnell Wright as the top guard in the entire draft. And I'm thinking to myself now is, why don't you just give it a try? Not this year. And I'm not saying he's bad at the right tackle position.
Look, listen to me. Go watch Darnell Wright in college in Tennessee play offensive tackle.
He didn't give up any sacks.
Go watch the game against Alabama, man. This dude was a force. He was mean. You know what I mean? He was extremely athletic. He was doing things I've never seen linemen do with his different sets and stuff, man, like jump setting. And man, he had one set where he would bounce back on his left leg twice. For speed rushers. It was crazy. He was doing crazy stuff, man. And it was working. When he got here with the Bears, they tinkered with that. They told him, we want you to play this way. And he's trying to be a good soldier, as I think all of those offensive linemen are. If they don't do what Chris Morgan wants them to do, then we saw what he did with Tevin Jenkins when you're not going to play. So you're going to have to play the way that he wants you to play, or else you're not going to play. So, and the way that he wants you to play isn't effective, and it's not working. It's just that simple to me. He's the problem.
Yeah,
these guys have success.
I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I think the chat does too. But what I'm saying is he is that good of a player, right?
Oh yeah, he can play all over the offensive line.
Oh yeah,
an interior offensive line help is hard to find. Even in the draft, it's hard to find. So let's go by what they said a couple of years ago. Slide him over to right guard. You've now opened up your right tackle position, which gives you a plethora of options going into the draft. So you still help yourself. You bring that mean player over to a spot that we haven't been able to fill. We brought in Nate Davis. It's not working. We had Lucas Patrick and Michael Schofield. It didn't work. Right. So we've tried to bring people in. Maybe a reset will do the same thing it did for Tevin Jenkins. It'll bring that fire back into him.
Yeah.
It's just a what if scenario, right?
Yeah. I mean, we got to get the interior shored up. I agree with you. Like that's what's most important. We've seen it from Justin Fields. We've seen it with Caleb. A quarterback can't do anything when the interior offensive line isn't good because the pressure's coming too fast up the middle. Can't step up in the pocket. You're forced to drop your eyes and look at that rush coming at you. So yeah, I agree, man. Whatever we can do or whatever we have to do, I would hate to see him move from the outside, but we need more talent on the offensive line, man. It's just that simple, and we need to need better coaching too.
Yeah. So with all our draft picks, and hopefully the Panthers doesn't play that well. We get that other high second round draft pick. All of those that needs to be an offensive line pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's my point, Terry. right? We have 3 picks in the first 2 rounds. We could get a tackle a lot easier in those areas than we could a guard.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bears trade that first round draft, trade up a little bit. I mean, trade down in that first round to get additional picks, because we're definitely going to get 2 of those picks are going to be linemen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The whole thing is what I'm trying to say is you have to look at every option, right? For some reason, Ryan Poles hasn't done that, whether it's and like you said, and we've all said that him and Ian Cunningham are former offensive linemen. Maybe they have some sort of complex for the lesser tier people. Like, I didn't get my chance, so I'm going to give everyone else a chance.
You might be right. You might be onto something right with that, Walt.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So, project predictions for the next week game. Anybody got a score prediction?
I don't even want to do it, man. Go ahead.
Because, I mean, personally, I kind of thought about this a little bit more yesterday too, because after that game, after the result and me just like sulking and being absolutely depressed, I was like, dang, the next game is going to be against the Rams. So, I mean, yes, you are right that they're battered, but the fact that they were able to beat the 49ers or go toe-to-toe with the 49ers yesterday, and we struggled to beat or even compete with the Colts, kind of has me like, I don't know. It really all depends on our line. It really all depends on what kind of changes the offensive coaching staff makes. Like, without those changes, like, yeah, like, and if Flus just keeps meddling in, like, it's going to be a long game again, and even at home. So, I mean, it is going to be a home game, but to be fair, anyone that plays in SoFi, it's essentially a home game for them. But,
yeah,
you know, I think that if everything goes right, I feel like the Bears have a good shot to win. But it's hard for me to say that everything will go right.
Give us a score.
I mean, I was gonna say that. I hate to say this, but I think now, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna say we're gonna win next game because everything is gonna hopefully be all right. We're gonna probably figure it out, and yeah, go Bears.
Okay. You got a score prediction?
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean, I was gonna say Caleb's gonna throw some touchdowns again. I think he got his groove, so wouldn't be surprised if it's like 28 to like 21 Bears, like a 1-score game. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I was gonna go 28-17.
I'm gonna say 27-20. 27-20 Bears.
It's pretty good. I went with 24-17 for the Titans game. We won at 24-17. I'm gonna go 24-17.
Okay, I'll take it. I'm not gonna be upset.
Go.
Yeah, me too.
Let's just get the W, man. However, we have to do it too. If the defense has to score this game, then the defense has to score this game. Like, by any means necessary. Like Terry said, this is an important game. It's our first game against an NFC opponent, man, which makes it even more important right now. So, man, we got to start winning right now. So, it's important. So let's get it going.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, guys, we've gone about an hour, and I know football's starting up, so you guys want to go watch. I want to keep everyone else here. So, any final words?
Oh, thanks, Amber.
Hey, see you next week. See you in the group chats on Sunday.
Yeah. And again, thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been a blast for an hour talking about the Chicago Bears, and looking forward to Sunday.
Yeah, man, of course, you're always welcome back. I threw your information down in the description, so if you haven't, go look up SoBack Sports. I put down his X handle and his YouTube page. He's got some good stuff going on there, so show him some love.
Oh yeah,
yes, sir. Appreciate you, Amber, for coming on.
Of course.
SoBack Sports. You guys make sure you support.
Mm-hmm.
Until next time. Go ahead.
Where was there? Just want to thank everyone in the chat for coming out again, guys. It was a bit of a slow start, but you all showed up, and we had a good conversation today. So I want to thank you guys for coming out, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Peace.
Claws up, bear down.
Claws up, bear down.